Hello everyone, this is only for your clarity. I am just trying to talk about the lesson grid which is there for your examination. Well, people are getting panic for what to do and what not to do. What are the aspects which need to be covered when preparing for the external exam? Let me make a point very clear that your textbook is the only guide for you to finish off your semester and examination, out of which, when it comes to the lesson part, when you see this, it's all when we talk about gift of the Magi, we already have discussed this lesson, which is known to all of us, and the concept is very clear. And then it's a poem, The Brook, Alfred Tennyson, where the summary is also given stanza wise. When it comes to Elon Musk, it's also a summary talking about Musk's achievements and his notable appreciations. Toys of Peace by Saki is also a lesson which really talked about how the children are expecting their uncle to give them a toy, and the power of intrapersonal communication is also a known story. So when I particularly talk about this lesson, or when we really discussed this lesson grade, this is very clear, as if gift of Magi summary is there, Brook is there, Elon Musk is there, Toys of Peace. So if you prepare for the 5 summaries, things will be very much clear to you to finish off the exam, be it a 5-mark question or a 2-mark question. Here understand that the questions are being asked only for 5 marks. So it's your understanding level, what do you exactly write for a 5-mark and what do you exactly write for a 2-mark. When it comes to listening, it's true that we don't have these particular things in the exam because we never tested in the semester and examination all about the listening. So you better leave all this. And when it comes to speaking also, it's not that we are going to test your speaking skills, because it is done in your external lab examination, internal lab examination, and also in the classes. So no one is going to ask you a question on what is a conversation or what is a discussion or something or the other. So you better don't worry about this particular. But when it comes to reading, I just want to make a point clear that all these questions that you see here, skimming, scanning, sequencing, drawing inferences, and data interpretation, and reading comprehension. So all these questions are general in nature, and we really don't know which paragraph we are going to get from the textbook in the paper. Therefore, it's our responsibility to find out what is skimming and what is scanning. Maybe you will get a question on this asking you what is skimming and scanning, that we already discussed. But if you open page number 18, you will have the correct definition for skimming and scanning, and make sure that such kind of questions will be asked only for 2 marks. So sequencing, it's like in page 51 in the textbook, because sequencing is arranging the jumbled sentences into a proper order. So it is also not a big deal. If you put your common sense when talking about sequencing, you can work with it, which is there in page 51, and don't even we cannot come to a conclusion that if there is a question on sequencing, that question will be from the textbook. But for sure you can answer them, because those are all jumbled sentences, and you can arrange them in a proper order by learning about the theme inside it. And yes, drawing inferences, in the class we didn't concentrate much on this. So if there is a question on this, you just refer page number 79, or you can leave this in the choice. And when it comes to data interpretation, we all worked with data interpretation, which is there in page 119, and this also you worked in your +2 also. So therefore it's clear that data interpretation is also not a big deal for you to work with. So if there is any pie chart given, or any life cycle is given, or any bar diagram is given, you can simply convert it into information by taking the account of the mark given to that. And yes, reading comprehension is that easy, wherein a comprehension passage is given to you, followed by some questions, and you worked with this reading comprehension in first mid examination. Therefore, my dear students, when it comes to this reading part, basically I don't know why people are getting panicked. So skimming and scanning, it's just a 2 mark. What is skimming and what is scanning? And no one is going to ask you what is sequencing, but they'll ask you to put the jumbled sentences into a proper order. And better forget about drawing inferences and also talk about data interpretation. You are very much masters in data interpretation and reading comprehension. Therefore, I believe even reading is also not a big deal for you for the examination. When it comes to writing, writing is something that the page numbers are also given here. See, when it comes to writing, they'll ask you to talk about the capital letters and if there are any spelling errors, what are content words and function words. We discussed all these things in the class. Therefore, you can answer any such question which is given in this part. So, there is nothing for you to prepare, just browse to the textbook. And paragraph writing, which is there in page 53, we wrote many paragraphs in our regular classwork. We know how to mind map our ideas, and we mind mapped our ideas, and we took all the words into a logical order, and we started writing paragraphs. And we also discussed that there is no fixed length to write a paragraph. So paragraph writing is also very generalized concept wherein you need not worry about it, but look at the topic and write down the paragraph. What is paraphrasing, what is summarizing, what is note making? You can observe these page numbers. Damn clear. Paraphrasing is nothing but substituting the words which are there in the sentences into a polished words. For example, if you see the old women are walking on the road, paraphrase this sentence is nothing but you are substituting old woman with another phrase called elderly woman. That is paraphrase. And summarizing, all that you did is summarizing in the regular class, that is summarize the points, etc. Note making, no one will ask you to make notes especially in the exam, but what is note making is there in page 91. Just take a look at the definition of note making, because it may come as a question for 2 marks. And yes, official letters and resumes are very easy. We worked with many letters when it comes to official letter writing, and it is also there in page 124. So you can take a look and make sure that you are working with the letters in full block format, everything towards the left hand side indent and other things. Resume writing, yes, resume writing is there in your page number 129 as a sample. So whenever people ask you to write a resume, you make sure that you are framing a resume according to page 129 by putting your details into the resume. Also, we discussed what is a cover letter. Well, cover letter is different only in the body of a letter. In formal letters, we write what is required. For example, if it is a leave letter, we will request for the leave. But in cover letter, the body will be your story. That's it. I mean, your skills, your capabilities, your education. So, if there is a chance to leave resume and cover letter in the choice, you better not opt that. But if you are very confident, you can happily write a resume also, a cover letter also. And yes, grammar, these are all things which we have been learning since our childhood. Parts of speech, sentence structure, WH questions, articles, preposition. What will you study with these? I don't understand. It's all damn clear that you all can happily work out with articles and prepositions, verbs, tenses, subject, verb, agreement, direct, indirect speech, active, passive. Just take a look at the concept. You will understand what are these. When it comes to the vocabulary part, yes, word roots, prefixes, synonyms, antonyms, never in our life we can get a word bank into our mind. If there is a choice for you to recollect your ideas on the vocabulary, you can frame that. And homonyms, homographs, homophones, all the students worked on this. Same spelling, different meaning, same spelling. So take a look at the definitions, because you may get these in the 2 mark questions. What are homonyms, what are homographs, and what are homophones? Yes, compound words also we discussed, collocations we discussed with all these things in a second mid examination. Words often confused also we discussed. So there's nothing that you need to worry for the exam. Everything is in general. All that I need to work out is with all the 5 summaries, and make sure that you are writing it for a 5 mark or a 2 mark answer. And then coming to the reading, it's all general questions. You can do this. And writing, yes, we discussed just now. Grammar and vocabulary, just look at the concepts. Other than that, everything will be quite okay. If still you have doubt, you can please call me.